Hillary Clinton has officially accepted the nomination for the Democratic Party's presidential nomination. Donald Trump starts his CIA briefings this week, and actress Denise Boutte is back in the studio with us. Stay tuned.
You're tuned into Black Hollywood Live, political culture.
We are starting out with that Frank Ocean.
Yes.
Welcome to Political Culture, Black Hollywood Live. I'm your host, Drexel Heard. You can follow me at Drexel Heard.
What's going on, everybody? You can follow me at Sorrells.
Hey, Elayna, what happened? You ran into an accident. Elayna's just running late, so she will sneak in a little bit later on. And back in the studio with us is let me tell you what. So I walked into the studio. And I went into we have 4 studios here at AfterBuzz, and I walked into one. I didn't know anybody was here. I walked in. I was like, "Who's that very pretty lady in there?" And then I didn't even look, and I closed the door, and it turned out to be Denise. Welcome back, Miss Boutte.
Yay.
She's back in the studio.
What happened was
we were working the buns. We were the bun twins
Right.
last
we
time.
were.
So when we put the locks down and come correct, you just didn't know.
I didn't. I
know.
wasn't. It was.
We stepped up.
We hit each other up and let us know, like, we gotta bring it. We
I
gotta
literally-
bring it. We gotta bring it.
And she didn't even look up. I
baby.
opened the door. I was like, "Oh, she's so pretty," and then I closed the door back up, and I walked away. And then 5 minutes later, I turned around. I was like, "What are you doing here?" And then she was here.
See, that's what happens when I shower. It's an amazing thing.
You look absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. Soap does me wonders.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having
Denise
me.
was here a couple of weeks ago, and we had invited her back because she's got some very big news, which I read about first thing yesterday. I woke up yesterday. I Googled. Yes. I didn't even email her and like, "Hey, what's the news?" I Googled myself.
Because you wanted to be nosy.
Yes, and I was like, I want to know before she announces it and tells everybody. I want somebody to tell me.
You want to be the first one to know.
So why don't you tell us
Yes.
what is happening in the world of Boutte?
Oh my God, so much. I'm so excited because I can finally, after months of like keeping it secret, announce that we are hitting the road. TV1 has announced a backdoor pilot called Media.
Exciting.
Yes. So we shot this bad boy a couple months ago, and this is actually inspired by Kathy Hughes herself, the media mogul, maven, whatever you want to call it, herself. And when I tell you, it's just a phenomenal cast, just jam-packed with talent. From one page to the next, when I was reading the script, the pilot script, I was just like, what happens? Oh my God. I mean, to the point where I was like, okay, does Danielle survive until the last page?
Do I make it?
Do I make it to the
next
end?
episode?
Make it, because
Right.
this is pretty serious right here. But again, it was just such an amazing experience. It was a page turner like nobody's business. So thank you so much to Kevin for writing something so amazing. And you know, the beauty of this whole experience is that it's set in it's set with the Jones family. It revolves around the Jones family, who are media moguls, and basically they operate Jump Magazine. They're a family dynasty that has owned and operated a dynasty and has.
Is it like Jet Magazine?
Well, it's kind of it's media with regards to radio, it's television, it's print, it's everything. Basically, Miss Kathy Hughes has invented over there. Yeah, I mean, because she truly has an amazing inspirational rags to riches story. And so, I mean, when I tell you that this thing's got conspiracy, we've got affairs, we've got addictions, we've got like fierce rivalries that have gone on for years. I mean, it's just what it is that a family will do to protect each other, to protect their name, and some of the sacrifices you make whenever family obligations kind of contradict your personal path. So, you know, what it is that you sacrifice or whatever as a person in order to make sure that your family is tight.
That is.
You know, and it's true. I mean, we all do that. We may have like a certain path in life with regards to our careers that we think we're following. But when family dynamics or issues come and may kind of impede those things, what are the decisions that you make in that moment to make sure that your family's right? You know?
So is it like it sounds like scandal, like media.
You can put a little how to get away with murder, cross it over with some scandal, and then sprinkle it on top with some empire. I mean, it's just
some
a
half
little
and half nots, a little Tyler Perry through all
You got a little. I mean, there's crazy dynamics and loyalties that are running through these things, and there's like secrets that come up, and it's just like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was just like, woo, I sure hope I make it, because a few folks actually don't. But it's just amazing and very inspirational, you know, because you see the falls, these folks that, go down or whatever in the lowest of the lows and how they pick themselves back up. And this is only in the very first episode.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
I'm about to be addicted.
Yeah. So TV One's doing really great things. They also announced another show called Ringside, and I love my Sorrell family and my TV One family. So
Sorrell family.
endorsing every time they've got something coming out, because Mickey Howard's story was bomb, and my girl Christine Swanson directed that. So they're just putting together some amazing entertainment out there, some wonderful original program that's very inspirational, and it shows all facets of life, not black life necessarily, but just life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The trials and tribulations of how you pick yourself up. It's not how what you go through, it's how you finish. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all going to go through something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I ain't here to preach. But anyway,
You're going to take us to
We
church.
want you
I'm
to
like,
preach.
yes.
take y'all to church, okay?
Pass the plate.
So-
That's my Louisiana coming out
So
right
tell
there.
us, other than yourself, who else can we expect in this show that maybe people have seen?
Oh, honey, we got a jam-packed. I was telling the ladies yesterday, I was like, look, okay, just think of it as a box of chocolate. Because we have an assortment of every single flavor you could think of, right? So we got Brian White, who my character is married to.
Oh, you get Brian White.
Don't play with me.
He's the one from Scandal,
He's
right?
the one from Scandal,
And-
and like so much stuff. I mean, Brian is a phenomenal talent, and all these years, that's what I was telling Pooch Hall. Pooch Hall is
Yes.
also in this, who plays the eldest brother. Also, Wait, I always said Johnson Gerald. I want to say Gerald Johnson all the time. 24,
Right.
Miss 24 is in
she
there.
was she was the president's wife.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, Penny's in there. We got Finesse Mitchell, Gary Dordan, Christy Ferris, Blue Kimball, Stephen Bishop, and Jasmine Kaur. I mean, it's just
jam-packed
it's
talent.
awesome, dude.
Oh, my
and it's
gosh.
fun. And yeah, Brian and I, well, he's actually running for mayor, and the political situation we have going on right now could definitely give us some dynamics to play on the screen. So he's running for mayor, and basically
In the show.
In the
Not
show.
in real life.
Not in real
He
life.
could be running in real life, but he's
He
actually
could.
running on the show.
I'd vote for Brian White. I would vote for Brian White. And I am a lawyer, and I'm about to make partner at my firm. So when
Oh.
Mama Jackie comes around and asks us to make a sacrifice and kind of change our professional path, we have to make some hardcore decisions. Some decisions that I kind of don't like and kind of show out.
So definitely a very different character from everything that we talked about last time. Very different from that why did I get married character.
Absolutely,
That's good. That's very
absolutely.
exciting. So
It
when
is.
does the show air?
So they're pinning it for January 2017. So that means we are going to be promoting the heck out of this thing and hitting. In fact, a rumor has it that we're going to have a billboard in Times Square.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
that's
we're going to be
gonna be
like
You got to go there and take
glistening
a
on
photo
some
of
you gotta go
yourself.
out look.
I might have to make a trip to New York City
Okay,
just for the sake of taking a
seriously.
photo.
Right.
But yeah.
Just a quick turnaround. Drop me off at Times Square. Take me back to the airport because I'm going back
Get
to
my
LA.
behind right on
I
back.
got it. Just
Exactly.
take it right on back.
Exactly.
That is very exciting. So mid season.
Yeah, January 2017. So
when the-
I will probably be back before then, and we can promote the heck
Yeah.
out of it
Again,
again.
there we go.
And yeah, and again, I mean, it's all about the fans. That's why social media is so powerful. So if you like it, we love it. We're back. So that's what we're hoping and praying for, and we're just excited. We were just talking
so
to
excited.
we were talking to Kevin about all the different ideas we have for our characters. So we're excited.
Well, hopefully Mr. Brian White will be the mayor of the show.
And come see us.
And
we
come
can
see
get-
us.
Well, that's what his wife wants, but that's
That's what
not
his
what
wife wants.
Mama
That's not
Jackie
what Mama
wants.
Jackie
So we'll
wants.
see. Well, we know who usually wins in those kind of
Well.
dynamics, right?
Well, you never
you
know.
heard it. Yep.
It's 2016.
We'll see.
Okay.
Well, you
Well,
got a point.
right.
You got a point. So yeah, so shout out to TV One, shout out to Kathy Hughes, Susan Banks, Sheila Ducksworth, Craig Ross Jr., and Kevin Arcady. I mean, it's just a phenomenal cast and crew we have bringing this. So
Well, that is very exciting.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
thank you so
Seriously.
much.
Onwards and upwards.
Onward and
into the-
upward, honey. What they say? Mountain high, valley
Hello.
low. Ow! Getting
So
out
listen.
the valley. Thank you, Jesus.
I don't know if you guys can hear it,
Our engineers
but
are
our
so
engineers,
silly.
they're so quick.
That was so on cue.
They're like, our engineers are like, when something happens on TV and like a meme comes out like immediately after,
That's our
they're that
engineers.
quick here
Seriously.
in the
They
studio.
already got the
I
gospel
don't
music
know.
playing.
That is awesome.
Thank you. That's awesome.
There you go.
All right, so let's talk
Take
a
me
little
to
bit
church.
about politics. Not that media is not about politics, because media does have a huge influence on politics.
Absolutely.
But and so last week when we talked with B and Elayna, last week we talked about just a little bit what happened in the convention, and Hey, Elayna's there.
Looking
Welcome.
so pretty. Pretty girl.
How are you?
I heard you guys try to clown me. You guys were the bun crew the other time, and here I go. I'm trying to fun today. I'm trying to be a part of the party, and you guys left me hanging. Like I wasn't gonna be listening.
We forgot to send the memo.
We forgot to tell you, girl.
the
We
memo
had to
out.
scrub it up. You were so cute last time. I figured we
We had to step it up. We had to step it up. That was
See,
what
the
it was.
universe is
Yeah,
just
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
against me today. I can't be on team girls. I can't get through traffic.
Hey.
It's okay, guys. We love you.
That's all right. Big Daddy Drexel got it.
I mean, I got my bun up
We
too.
twins, yeah. Come on, Melon.
on,
Look at the Melon.
I'm the
We twins.
All right. So anyway, so we're
love
on to what happened last week. Hillary Clinton officially accepted the nomination for president of the year.
I'm sorry. Our engineers are laughing in our ear right now.
This is a great
accepted the nomination for president of the United States. We talked a little bit about how you guys felt last week, not only
Yes.
as voters but as women. So Denise, I'm going to throw it to you real quick. I mean, all this talk, obviously Hillary Clinton stands on her own in merit. But, when 2008 came around, Barack Obama was, and I was telling this to somebody the other day, like, Barack Obama I was hosting the thing that I talked about more than a hashtag. And one of the things that I brought up to, it was a room full of, black folks, and it was great. And we had a great conversation with John Singleton and Michael T. Williamson from Forrest Gump. And one of the things that I said to everybody was, Barack Obama was an election of excitement. Mm-hmm. But this election is an election of necessity.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
And
that's a very good way to put it.
For whatever you think about Hillary Clinton in terms of policy, or in terms of experience, in terms of background, whatever, Donald Trump is not the person that needs to be in president of the United States. I believe that Barack Obama said today that he was woefully. Like he just should not be there.
Don't you love the way he throws shade? Like, don't
He
you
does.
I mean,
I know.
obviously it's facts though, but the way that he speaks so eloquently about the facts of the shade
Right.
of Donald Trump.
But the thing is, this is what kills me. It works for him.
Yeah.
He can
Yeah.
do no wrong. Melania can have a threesome next time on film, okay? And it'll work in their favor.
Isn't it
There was a-
already?
I don't understand. I really and truly don't understand why it is that things that other people would have been ridiculed and raked over the coals about, they can get away with, and there are no repercussions.
Well, MSNBC,
I just
all
don't
in with
understand.
Chris Hayes did they're starting a whole thing where they list the 10 things every day or every week that Donald Trump has said that no other politician could get away with saying in this past few elections. But I do think that a lot of that stuff is catching up to Donald Trump. We're going to talk about that in a
Absolutely.
little bit. But I just want to get your take real quick on how maybe, we said that Barack Obama was the first black president, how this might feel to you as a woman, if it does have an effect. Because some people are like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Some people are like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
But does that have an effect, or how does that make you feel?
I mean, I think the introduction was the most powerful part for me. Whenever they did the whole breaking of the glass ceiling, that for me was like, whoa, this is really happening, And again, I mean, a lot of folks, including myself, said, I never thought I'd see the day of a black president. We
Right.
saw a black president. Now we got a female, running for president. And it's just amazing to be alive at a time like this where so many different rules it's getting slattered, you know what I'm saying? And I've got a daughter who is standing there, and we were sitting down and looking at Michelle Obama, we were looking at Barack, and then we were looking at Hillary, and she's just standing there partaking in all of this stuff. And it's just, for me, it's just so fascinating as a woman trying to empower and raise a young woman, for her to see these images on TV, because she won't know those lines, she won't know certain rules or whatever regulations. She will just know that I am a female, you know what I'm saying? But I could be a strong female, and I too can be president. Like, there are no boundaries.
Did you let your daughter stay? I saw an article. It was a whole list of pictures of parents who let their daughters stay up to watch Hillary Clinton's speech.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I thought it was really amazing.
The thought of it though is that we are literally living in history.
Yes.
And I was trying to fathom that thought last, like while everything was happening, I was trying to really grasp it, because when Barack and Hillary ran against each other, it was an exciting campaign, yes, because either way it went, the Democratic Party was going to make
good-
They
history.
were going
Exactly.
to break
Exactly.
boundaries.
So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fact that no matter whoever won that, in that election or that campaign, it was Barack. But even now, we're still making history.
Absolutely.
Like, as a party, I feel like we just keep progressing forward. And although we are surrounded by a lot of terror and a lot of, bad things that are happening in the world, we can't like just frown our nose upon the good things that are happening. And we need to be able to appreciate that. And I think that even if, like, I know there are a lot of people who were swayed about whether they were even Hillary Clinton supporters. And I think even if you were not a supporter and you watched the Democratic National Convention last week.
You were so moved. My God. And that's what they said. She, like, jumped up in the polls based on the convention.
She jumped up 9 points.
It was the facts. It was the facts. It was humanity. These are things that we're crying for, how we want to live. We want to be equal. We don't want to be ruled under someone, as Barack mentioned in his speech. We don't want to follow the leader. We want to continue to break barriers and push forward
and be progressive and be an example to the other countries. And we're still such a young country.
Yeah.
Like, I went to Europe for the first time a few years ago, and I was just like, oh my God, how old is that building? Like, America's not even been around as long as that building. Like, it's just fascinating to me. So to show that we're that progressive and we're that young, and I'll be honest with you though, when I first heard that, there was a good chance that Hillary was going to be, the nominee, a part of me did say, what are other countries going to say that we have a female president? Are they going to see it as a weakness? Because we're not necessarily as progressive as we are. So are they going to think that we are weakened because we have a female as our leader?
But I don't think that they would, mainly because so many other major nations have had female heads of state. Britain has had 2. Actually, Theresa May and Margaret Thatcher. That's 2 in the last decade, 2 decades or whatever. 2 or 3 decades, I'm sorry. Germany has Angela Merkel. Brazil has a female president. So I'm not entirely sure. And then the Asian, excuse me, a few of the Asian countries have seen female heads of state. I'm not I think the ones that we talk about the most, like Russia, and, maybe they, maybe Vladimir Putin thinks that he can get in on that, So I don't know if I'm sure our allied countries are very excited about Hillary Clinton, mainly because they've worked with her before.
They've worked with her. Now that's it. Now for me, that's what kind of was like, what? She knows all of them. They know her. You know what I'm saying? So there's something there that's already been established, and they can just, continue to nurture those.
But you know who they don't know?
Who knows?
They don't know Mr. Trump, and he might not know them either.
I don't think he knows himself.
I don't think he knows. And when let me tell you what, I'm going to spend every time I come on this show, I'm going to spend a part of the program talking about how dangerous Donald Trump is. I don't care who doesn't watch the show, but the necessity of this election is so important that I will point out I'll be fair and point out the dangers of Donald Trump, but I'll lay out his policies just fine. So,
and I'm tired of people saying that they're not voting, because not voting is a vote for Trump.
Well, yes.
I'm just going to say there have been people, I'm not going to drop some names or whatever, but it's ignorant. I'm sorry. Not voting is a vote for Trump.
And I'm going to break away, not only not voting is a vote for the other side, voting for, the Green Party has their convention this weekend.
In Houston, right?
In Houston, yeah.
Okay.
And Jill Stein obviously is on the ballot. But Jill Stein is not Bernie. Let me just speak directly to Bernie Sanders supporters. At least some that don't want to jump on the Hillary Clinton bandwagon.
There it is.
No. I mean this honestly. Jill Stein is not an alternative to Bernie Sanders. That's the fact. Gary Johnson is not an alternative to Bernie Sanders. So you might as well just not vote. Because if you don't want if you're going to vote for Gary Johnson is a 2-term Republican governor. He is a Republican. Jill Stein has tried to run for president of the United States for the last decade or so, and has not tried to run up the ranks, has not tried to run for Congress, has not tried to build her party, has not tried to build a national profile, has not done anything other than run for president of the United States and talk about anti-vaxxers. So, the fact of the matter is that Jill Stein is not an alternative to the progressive agenda that Bernie Sanders has brought to the Democratic Party.
I literally went into a vision while you were trying to explain Jill Stein and Gary and everything like that, and
she pulled a Raven Simone. She's like,
she did.
Like, literally, go back and watch the film. I was like this. That's so Raven. It's like, wait a minute.
That's so Elayna.
Because this is what I'm thinking. So, if you don't vote, it's almost like a vote for Trump, because the Democratic and the Republican parties are the bigger parties with majority people. However, you also shouldn't rely on an alternative with the independents or the Green parties for your vote, because if you're putting your vote into someone that you haven't done your research on, someone who doesn't speak the voice of you, then you might as well not vote. And I say that really like it when you said it, I like crawled. That's when I went into my vision because I don't want to encourage anyone not to vote.
No, I'm saying you might as well not because at the end of the day, you've got Gary Johnson very well make the debate stage, which is fine. I welcome Gary Johnson to the debate stage. I've met him. I think he's a great, nice guy or whatever. Jill Stein is still polling at less than 5%. There's zero chance that Jill Stein will make the debate stage. And so people saying that they will vote for Jill Stein because they don't want to vote for Hillary is a very ignorant way of voting.
Well, and I heard it the other day on NPR, and she was just saying that she was very disappointed in Bernie Sanders. She was very disappointed in him, endorsing her. And what I couldn't get was this. She skirted around the question, do you think that you're running for president is going to take any crucial votes away from Hillary Clinton? I mean, this woman was asked this question like 5, 6, 7 plus times to the point where the reporter was like getting frustrated.
Yeah,
okay?
she was getting.
And when I tell you she skirted and danced and just
dancing around that question.
it, and basically came back to the statistics and why it is that she felt that she could win. And how much her party had, gotten, all these endorsements or whatever from the Bernie folks and all this other stuff and why she could win. She was like, you really think you can win? And she said, absolutely.
No, you know who
she said absolutely. So
she was
my
very
question
sure
is, do
and
you think she's kind of put in there? I'm a conspiracy theorist. Do you think she's kind of been put in there to kind of take a little something from Hillary?
I don't think so. I think
You don't?
I don't. Here's the thing.
I'm not going to say the word. I'm not going to say
Here's the thing about some of
ridiculed
the Bernie Sanders voters, in my opinion, the Bernie Sanders voters who are going to vote for Jill Stein weren't going to vote for Hillary Clinton ever.
Yeah.
They also weren't going to vote at all. So they're now a part of this process that they have kind of learned about. So now they're just kind of trying to figure it out. So that's less than like 1% of the Bernie Sanders voter anyway. So they're not really taking away voters because every time that they're polled, Jill Stein's numbers don't grow. Hillary Clinton's grows, as we've seen in the past week. Donald Trump is down in the low 40s, and Hillary Clinton's at 50% right now. At the same time, post convention, Hillary Clinton, they polled. I watched something the other day where they polled. The network said who's after the speech, whose speech kind of inspired you to vote for them. And in the past, Mitt Romney was like +4, Barack Obama was +5, Hillary Clinton was +4. After last week's speech, Donald Trump was -15.
I believe it though, because if you recall his speech though,
right.
like,
it wasn't
doom and gloom.
Let's just call it haterade.
That whole Republican
haterade.
convention.
It was negative.
It was
you know what? It was glass half empty, and Hillary was glass half full.
It was nothing about
different.
It was nothing about the Republican Party and their agenda at all. It was more so like we're going to be bullying each other.
What he calls it? He calls himself the Law and Order candidate. And to the point where I'm just going to bring it up. I know we're going to talk about it, but lots been going on. We had another semi-shooting. We did have another shooting last night. But so we don't know all the facts right now. But the police commissioner out of New York resigned today. Bill Bratton resigned today.
Heard about that.
And then Black Lives Matter here in LA is trying to get Chief Beck fired to convince Mayor Garcetti to fire Chief Beck. But I don't think Donald Trump's going to help any of that. And I say that because he had some classified briefings starting on Friday of last week. And he basically gave away half of the enchilada in Saudi Arabia. Like, you get one classified briefing, and then all of a sudden you start letting everybody know that we have a base in Saudi Arabia that we weren't supposed to have.
Because he doesn't have awareness of foreign policy.
Right. He's like,
he can say
we
whatever
should
he
no
wants
filter
to
whatsoever.
say. He has no filter, and he doesn't have any discretion. And again, like I
He
said,
doesn't really care.
It was in the beginning. It was a little like, oh, this is refreshing.
Right.
To have someone so candid. But now that it's getting crucial, I mean, dude, seriously, he has no tact.
Yeah.
Right.
He has no tact. There's a way to handle. You have to be politically correct when you are dealing with these countries, and he's not.
Yeah, at all.
And go ahead.
I briefly wanted to say, because I know we're moving on a little bit, but when we were talking about the choosing of the candidates, I feel like a lot of people feel like they have to choose between the lesser of two evils. And I've only voted twice in my life because of my age. So my vision was about, bringing it back to the vision, my vision was about, I feel like, I mean, we rarely had cases like this election before. I feel like there needs to be an option on the ballot where you are not necessarily not voting. You're almost like pleading the fifth. Like just,
I see what you're saying. You're exercising your vote.
You're exercising your right to vote, but you don't trust anyone that's on the ballot. But you still want to, use
you're voting, like go to the booth.
Right,
and
that could, so that way when they calculate who people are voting for, it could be a column of these are people who went to the polls or who mailed in ballots.
Well, I think we'll see. I think if you,
in a way, I mean, obviously.
I think obviously you're going to see a ballot has everybody on, senators, vice president, everybody. Everybody's a little bit different. Yeah. I think if a majority of people don't put a presidential candidate on there, but they vote for the VP, you're voting for Tim Kaine, and then you're voting for Kamala Harris here in California, and you're voting down the line. You can always see the number of people who did not vote for the presidential candidate.
When their numbers are coming in, you can kind of
you can always see that. But I mean, at the end of the day, Tim Kaine is a package with Hillary Clinton. So basically, you're voting for Hillary Clinton. You know what I mean? So anyway, Trump on the trail. So not only did he give away the Saudi Arabia, then he had a whole situation with Khazir Khan, who was at the who spoke at the Democratic National Convention last week about his son. Oh my word. And he kind of held up the Constitution and said, "I have a Constitution, Donald Trump, because I don't think you've read it." Did you guys see that speech last week?
I saw it,
and then Donald Trump had the nerve to be like, "Well, why isn't his wife speaking?" He just did not focus on what he needed to focus on.
He's ignorant. I was just gonna say he has no knowledge, no intelligence. He doesn't know how to maneuver as a politician. He doesn't know,
he's a wonderful reality TV host.
Exactly.
He's great.
Entertainment, perfect.
He's right.
Yeah.
But when it comes to running a country, this is life and death, dude.
Yeah,
this is not funny anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what's going to be next. I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't know what's going to be next for the GOP, because I think that this, now all the vets are coming at Donald Trump. Today he got a Purple Heart from a person and was like, I always wanted a Purple Heart, but this is easier. Said that on the trail as if it was I just don't even know how to.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. This is why I'm always encouraging. I just want to have an open, intelligent conversation with a Donald Trump supporter, because I don't understand, and not so that we can go back and forth, so that we can, none of that. I just really want to understand, why do you believe that he can be your? Because he has the support. That's what.
That's the interesting part of it.
And it doesn't matter what he says, because they will contradict and they will reason as to why it's okay.
And I feel like that's why I'm lacking some kind of life experience, because I don't understand, how are you backing this man?
There was somebody, I had a conversation with somebody on Facebook, and by conversation I mean they popped up on a friend's feed.
Did you go in Drexel again?
I've been pretty good about it. Not too bad.
I saw
it. Somebody mentioned
calm down. Bring it down, Drex.
Somebody mentioned the whole "Make America Great Again" or whatever, and somebody's like, "Oh, we should go back to 1946 when there were equal rights or whatever," and I was like,
"What?
I gotta do it again."
But
what?
Wait. To be fair, they cleared it up by saying, it was a time where there was a lot of economic prosperity back then, and we should go back to that time, but have everybody have equal rights or whatever. And
that part of it. They wanted a fraction in 1946.
Right, but not 1946. I was like, nobody wants to go back to 1946 though. So I think that's where the mentality is. We should have this, and I kind of explained it's 2016 economics, the markets are very different, foreign policy is very different, is not 1946. You can never go back to 1946.
Right.
A year before World War II, 1947, World War II. And so you can't go back to that time.
Exactly.
We don't want to go back there. We want to move tomorrow, as what Hillary Clinton said.
Progression, not regression, baby.
So I don't know what's going to happen with these debates. Stephen, can you throw out that tweet real quick, just so I can actually read it? Donald Trump said, as usual, Hillary and the Dems are trying to rig the debates. So two are up against major NFL games, same as the last time with Bernie. Unacceptable. First of all, he's trying to bring Bernie Sanders supporters into this idea the debates are rigged already. He's also trying to steer this narrative that he's already tried to steer this narrative that if he does not win,
there's a
because
conspiracy.
The election is rigged.
It's rigged.
Every time he makes a mistake or says something stupid, he gets on Twitter.
I was just about to say, look forward to his tweets.
Because he doesn't take responsibility for his actions.
And he tries to refute it, or he tries to get ahead of it. He's good and stay in front of his own narrative to keep his people, the people who support him, convinced. He's really good at that.
He's a great spinner.
So there are 3 debates starting next month, and one vice presidential debate. So we will certainly see.
You cannot write that drama, honey.
You can't.
You
No,
cannot
I can't.
write
I
something
can't.
like
I'm
that.
very
That is
excited
just
to
like,
see
I can't wait to see
what
that.
happens.
I'm glad we're out in January because I don't want to compete with this because this, ooh, Lord, you can't write this series.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I'm very excited to see what happens. But
Wow.
speaking of General Assembly, speaking of like voting and General Assembly, obviously we've got some folks here in California. B, I think you got something for us.
I do.
What you got,
So,
you
so
got?
guys, this show, as we know, is brought to you completely free. And one of the ways if we can stay free is if you support our sponsors. And today's sponsor is General Assembly. It says, looking for a career in tech, maybe business, data, design, or marketing. Trying to get that promotion or raise? To excel in your career, you need 21st century training and skills. General Assembly is the largest and most respected school worldwide for people seeking to grow their talents and master the marketplace. Whether it's learning remotely online or in person at one of their beautiful campuses, you can join the 350,000 people who have already gotten the training needed to prepare careers in tech and business. More than 2,500 companies worldwide hire GA graduates, with 99% of graduates who participate in GA's career services, landing a new role and field within 6 months of starting their job search. So take control of your talent career now and find out more at ga.co/geek. And that's ga.co/geek. And you can enter the promo code GEEK and save on your first class workshop or event. And that is ga.co/geek. And the code word is GEEK.
Geek
Yay,
it
that's
out.
exciting.
You know, it's so funny because this is a true
Geeks
story.
are awesome. I
This-
was a geek.
I was a geek too.
I was like a nerd.
Seriously,
I was a geek too. This is a true story. I was having lunch with a friend of mine today, and he actually, I did not even say, hey, this is whatever. He brought up General Assembly in our lunch today
So
about
funny.
how he loves taking classes at General
Shut
Assembly.
up.
This is like no joke. I'm not even making this up.
What?
Just but he said he loved it, and
Hey,
so
look, we're
we
doing
certainly
that commercial.
encourage all of you guys.
Look at that.
And so certainly encourage you guys
So
to
exciting.
Some things in
check
life
out
you
and use
can't
that.
plan.
I know.
Yes.
I was not planning that. So B, you also got some trending topics for us.
I
today.
do. So first off, it's been a lot going on this week, as we know. It's been up and down. First off, let me talk about my boy Charles Barkley.
You know I'm related to Charles Barkley, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, are you serious?
Okay, are you
Yeah, he's a
how
part
you
of the
doing?
family.
How did it sound in there? And then say, we talk about it later. Don't
We'll
worry
talk about
about
it
it.
later. He is a
Okay,
family
are you
member,
like
but go
those
ahead.
people in the South that have the family tree and you like down 12 notches?
I mean, he might be a couple of notches down, but I don't think he's like 12.
okay, you know
I
what?
think,
But
he was at a family reunion.
But why it had to
Alright,
be?
Drexel.
Why did it have to be people in the South?
I know
though?
though.
we
He's not
related to
supposed
everybody, girl.
You know we are. Look, Texas, Louisiana.
cousin on the other side by your daddy,
Listen.
and then your pawpaw right here.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
He-
The accent. The accent.
I
can
met him
regress
at
in a second.
a family reunion. He is a part of the damn family.
up.
Okay?
He
was at the reunion?
He was at the reunion. This
He
is
was
years
third
ago.
cousin, second
Listen,
cousin.
He in the
listen.
family. He in the
What does Charles Barkley have to
I
say?
give him
You
that.
know
If he was
what?
at the family reunion, I will give you that.
I see the
He was at the
resemblance. I
family
was just
Now, was
asking
it the
you.
Tom Joyner family reunion?
You know what?
I'm not
know
gonna
what?
play
was
with
it
Denise.
your real last name? That's all
You
I
know
want to
what?
know.
There's a
I'm
lot
just
going on
asking.
on this show. The
Yeah,
show
we're
has
teaming up on
completely gone
Drexel
off the
right now.
rails.
I'm
I
just
do not know
I'm
what's
just
happening.
asking.
So Charles Barkley, whether y'all agree or not,
Are we talking about his show?
we're talking about a show. He's going to be the host of a new show called Race Cars in America.
Yes.
Which is, I'm going to be honest, I was pretty surprised that they picked him as a host. Like,
Yeah.
debate me or not, I feel that Charles Barkley is the top 10 best players of all time. I will say that for me. I don't know for everybody else.
Okay.
Top 10. I will say that.
Okay.
Watch his games.
I don't
But-
have all my NBA facts together.
Oh,
okay,
okay,
well,
well,
see,
see,
So I will say you
okay,
probably
I'm
right,
talking
girl.
about coaches, son.
I'm gonna give you that. Okay.
But personality-wise, and the things he says is where it's like, okay.
He's a
And
little dry.
He's very dry, and he just really comes off.
Sometimes he's monotone. Like he's
That's
just
yeah.
dry.
I
Is
was
he
gonna
gonna be
say
alone
ignorant.
or is this a panel? Is
Oh,
it
no, it's just him.
Oh,
and he's
gosh.
going to be talking about the recent shootings going on around America, and we're going to be talking about just policing. So, and they felt that he was the best
You know
candidate
what?
for the job.
We've never seen him in this light,
and
What-
that's where I
so-
thought I said, maybe
we don't know how he will excel.
What network is this?
it's going to be for TNT. And so I'm thinking maybe because
it's different. It'll be different. I mean, I do like the fact that he is very blunt. He's very candid. And he doesn't care. He doesn't have a censor.
Yeah.
So I'll give him that. So hopefully the censor or whatever works in his favor. And we'll see what happens. But no, he doesn't have much of a filter.
Is it like a docu? I'm confused.
No, it's literally like a show similar to ours, but it's just going to be, he's just the host. And it's literally like they're going to be bringing up different topics and trendings going on as far as race, even in corporate and going on right now with the killings of Black Lives Matter. And they felt that Charles Barkley
was the person that should be the voice.
Exactly.
Charles Barkley would be the voice.
And TNT, that's why I said
I'm
I was
excited
like,
for it because it's on TNT. It's bringing it's a whole new demographic, like as far as people who watch the network, and not even though it's out of his arena, we haven't seen him, on this subject matter before. The fact that he's even going to have a show that is addressing this issue, meaning this show is solemnly going to be about this topic. It's a step forward. So it's
like, hey, kudos to them for even
this.
So TNT, thank you so much
for considering
being
Charles
forward
Barkley.
enough to just have this content,
right?
And have this discussion.
Have a voice, I guess.
To your conspiracy theory, I find it interesting that Michael Jordan came out and said something last week in the time that Charles Barkley is about to do a new show.
This is
maybe
true.
they're coming together and they want to.
Oh, I think of that. Now that's a good connection.
That's good.
Hey guys, we don't do conspiracy on political culture.
I'm just saying. I have a confession. I am a registered independent, which I know that's not what it means, but I'm just saying. I vote for the most qualified individual.
As Donald Trump says, I love my independence.
I'm about. You know what? That man right there.
And then next up, Miss Teen USA. Yeah.
Oh, that was wow.
Yeah. So it's two parts to this.
Watch.
Oh no,
the excitement.
I know, but it's two parts to this. So Miss Teen USA, it was a lot of celebrities that came out on Twitter that were very what's the word I'm looking for? Surprised at the top. I don't know if it's top 5 or top 10.
Top 5.
Top 5, and it showed the diversity of the top 5.
The lack of diversity, she meant.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic. And it was all 5 Caucasian women, and people were tweeting like, okay, and I have no issue with that. If I was just surprised.
If you didn't see anyone that was qualified to be in that top. Yeah,
absolutely.
Sips
They all had blonde hair. And
blue, green eyes. I said, wow, so nobody Asian, Hispanic, Latino, Black, nobody was met up. So that's...
I don't know the makeup. What about brunettes? Where were the other states? Like
anything.
I didn't watch. So
yeah,
I don't know.
There was
a lot of diversity. There was a lot of diversity.
But the top 5 went to top 5 blonde women. So, and then on top of that, Miss Teen USA of last year, her tweet surfaced right before the pageant, and she was using the N-word towards somebody. I guess they made her upset, and so that was another thing where they were kind of...
Why would you tweet that?
On several tweets.
Okay, but I have something to say. That's why this social media thing, you are what you tweet, dude.
This is true.
It comes back to bite you.
Absolutely.
You have a friend. Let me tell you little high school kids something. You have a friend that is not going to have your back. These things, these ignorant things you are screenshotting and posting can and will come back to bite you.
Yep.
You want to be Melania one day and be the first lady? You want to do... These things can come out. I'm serious. Be mindful of the things that you share. You got a little friend who doesn't have your back that is screenshotting and just waiting for you to do something major and be like,
and post it right on
up. She going to do some things. Hold up. And you're send it straight to the
media. And wait until she won and then just release it.
It could be something as small though. It's like job interviews, like little things.
You can't make mistakes on social media. Like you can make mistakes or whatever, but I'm serious. These kids don't know. Stop putting all your business out there because it can come back to harm you. It's unfortunate, but that is the world in which we live today. Social media can be your detriment or it can be something that propels you to something greatness.
Right.
You don't know, but you have to be smart about how you use it.
Absolutely.
So hopefully she learned her lesson.
Hopefully they clear this up.
Let me tell you something.
She gonna learn today.
Whoever schooled her or whatever, she came back with a wonderful response as to what it was. It was great. I don't know who wrote that for her, but it was great.
She was like, I was a different person then. I'm not that anymore.
And pageants have made me a better person.
That's almost like saying, I want world peace. That's pretty much what I kind of got from
it.
It
was like 2.5 years ago, though. Like, I mean, I know that a lot can happen in 2 years.
Absolutely.
But a whole perspective, you were so comfortable, like, on several tweets that you were just dishing
You were throwing that N-word out like it was...
Even if you didn't know that you would be doing pageants or you would be on a larger platform, even in your smaller circle, you shouldn't have been that comfortable.
And that's
Exactly.
my point. Be
Exactly.
mindful of what you're doing. Be smart, and don't in anything that you text or whatever. Anything in print can and probably shall be used against you.
Absolutely.
Be
and
cautious.
then lastly, Sandy Hook, as we all know, they have a new school that's reopening. They rebuilt it, and I hate that it's I don't want to say a bittersweet moment, but I hate that it had to be under this type of thing to where they had a new school, getting built. Yeah, absolutely. But they reopened it. It's going to be opening this August, after 4 years after the massacre. And the school is, they built $50 million. They put $50 million into it, and then now it has safe-proof glasses. It's security, going to be 24 hours around. So that's going to be opening this August, and I'm just super excited to see the kids and the teachers come back. And absolutely,
That's almost like when they with Pulse in Orlando. They plan on reopening at some point, but I don't know when that's gonna. I don't think anybody has an idea.
This is what's scary about it reopening, because this can happen anywhere at any school.
Yes.
So do all the schools now have to go through a $50 million reconstruction and build the security glasses and walls? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's definitely exciting that they're finally they're opening back up just for the school in the neighborhood. However, I know that a lot of parents and a lot of students, a lot of teachers are still gonna, it's gonna once they walk those halls, it's gonna be a little hard.
it's going to be bittersweet.
It's gonna be hard.
Yeah,
it's gonna be hard. And it's beautiful. I mean, on the outside, it's a gorgeous school, but
I'd be really interested to see how that works out, because all of these shootings that happen at schools happen on the inside. There's no real need for kind of these
the walls.
glass. People aren't driving in with tanks and
They're not doing drive-bys.
They're not doing drive-bys. So
and I know back home, a lot of the schools, which is so weird to me, have they have security. They have
Metal detectors back in
security.
my-
I would say metal
There's
detectors,
metal
everything.
detectors, and now there's security. And I mean, I could not have ever imagined that happening in this small little town that I went to school in, but it's happening.
In the past year, I work for Universal Studios, but in the past year, I have seen our just theme park literally
Go
on
under
lockdown.
Oh yeah.
Because there's so much more security. I know Disney's going through the same thing. Universal Orlando will go through the same thing at some point.
Six Flags is doing that right now
yep,
too.
Six Flags. So a lot more metal detectors. And both at the guest entrance and the employee entrance. So, they're really cracking down on a lot of those things. So I believe schools should have some sort of metal. I mean, in this crazy day
It's
and
the
age,
unfortunate
probably.
reality of where we are right now.
Yeah.
Things are not so innocent anymore.
Absolutely.
It sucks, but it's the reality.
Yeah.
And to end it on our favorite person, Trump. What we talked
Not El
about.
Chapo?
Not El Chapo.
They're
El
basically
Chapo.
the same person, though.
It really is. I forgot. If El Chapo escapes one more time, we're not going to bring up El Chapo no more.
Trump has bricks in his basement.
What we
In
talked
his
about.
basement? Oh my god.
Oh my, what we talked about earlier, what you talked about, what you brought up as far as the Trump
debate
against,
schedule.
with the NFL. And so, Trump, of course, went to Twitter and wanted to say, this is a conspiracy, they're trying to do this. And then he went as far as saying that the NFL wrote or sent him a letter saying, I really wish y'all to pick a different day.
Lies.
Which we found out that's a lie. And I loved it because
NFL commissioner.
Yes, the NFL commissioner released that tweet and was like, as much as we wish that you could pick a different day for your debates, Mr. Trump, we did not send a letter to you. And I was
Right.
like, really, Trump?
We've
You're
never
going to lie as if...
But why does he think he can just say stuff and
And get
nobody
away
is
with
going to
it?
actually prove it? Now it's like, dude, you're in the big leads. It will be proven.
Exactly.
Because here's the thing.
Here's
Here's the real seriousness of this situation. Republicans have consistently kept their supporters ignorant of reality.
Yeah.
So to just throw stuff out there as they have over the past 2 or 3 decades is the Republican mantra, and Donald Trump is just feeding right back into it. I mean, that's the reality of the situation.
So what do you think about them being silent right now? Because that's what Obama was talking about today. He's
Oh,
just
Obama
saying
named
that
some names today.
He dropped a lot of
wait.
names. And he was basically saying, look, your silence is not, this is not
not
helping matters at all.
Right.
He called a lot.
And John McCain came out, Paul Ryan came out with a statement, some of the other speakers of the House.
And he's not
some of the-
endorsing Paul Ryan? Is that what it is?
No. Paul Ryan. Oh, Donald Trump is not endorsing Paul Ryan.
He used the same line that Paul used
Paul
on
Ryan
him.
used on him.
Like, I don't-
I'm thinking about it, or I'm still working on it.
I'm not
or
ready.
whatever. I'm not ready.
Something.
yet,
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, yeah. It was like, slap.
Yeah.
Wait, and then can I bring up my favorite moment of the convention before we go? My moment, because I tweeted about it, was when Barack said, don't boo, vote.
Vote. Don't boo. Vote.
That was good. That was good. I was
My
like,
favorite moment.
that boy good. That boy good.
I will say this. My favorite moment of the convention was when Hillary Clinton came out after Barack Obama's speech.
And they
Not even the hug. It was the point.
Yeah, it was like, you got me. That was like that solidified.
Oh, yes. That's it right
did
there.
That, boy.
She's like,
If
you
had
did
any
that.
doubts-
Yeah.
If you had any doubts about Hillary, like, Obama killed it. Like, he solidified her and was like, look, y'all known her. Y'all known her for over 20 plus years. Like, she's more than qualified. Whatever you feel about her, like, she's good for the job. And she did that point.
He definitely said to me a lot
She
of
was like,
comfort food.
and she gave that hug. I was
She
like,
did.
yeah, it's over.
They look like
And
they were
that
friends.
embrace was so sincere.
It was a good-
I thoroughly
I loved
enjoyed
it.
it.
So listen, we want you to make sure that you guys don't boo, that you vote,
But vote.
that not only that you vote, but that you're registered to vote by whatever time your state, whatever state you're in.
Absolutely.
Just make sure that you're looking up the rules to make sure that you can vote on November 8th.
Your voter IDs, guys, we talked about it
talked about it last
Yeah,
week.
doing a
That's
lot
absolutely.
of stuff that's going to make sure a lot of folks can't vote. So yeah, make
Right.
sure.
Yes, please
And in
You're
the
up to
past
date.
week, this courts have struck down 5 states' voter registration restrictions. So we are moving
they
in
get
that
strict,
area. So make sure that your state is one of those where you can vote. So I'm not going to be here next week. So
Leaving us again, Drexel. Leaving us again.
let me tell you what, it has been a very tough summer. I need like a mental break. So Elayna's gonna take over the hot seat next week. But as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Drexel Heard.
You can follow me at Hey It's Lay.
You can follow me at Sorrells.
And of course, Denise, thank you again for coming
Yes.
back. Congratulations on everything. Make sure that you guys
So
catch
excited.
media
So excited.
starting in January 2017, right after Hillary Clinton gets elected president of the United States.
I'm not gonna play with you. I'm not gonna play with you. He slid that in there. He slid that in
You
there.
always have to. You can follow her
back for the
at
celebration.
Denise Boutte, Boutte.
You got it.
Got it.
Go Charles Barkley's cousin.
You know what? We'll see you all
When
next
second
week.
cousin remembers
Goodbye.
what it was.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Wrap it.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Keven Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.